Hey everyone, hello. It's Barbara Orban here from NoDietBabe.com, and I want to, because it's actually, I'm in Australia, so it's actually No Diet Day was yesterday, but I know a lot of you, it's still No Diet Day where you are, if you're like in America or somewhere else. So I just thought that I'd talk about that topic. I was actually going to talk about something else today, but I might leave it till next week because it's actually International No Diet Day. So I thought I'd talk about dieting mindset because I tend to talk about dieting mindset a lot instead of the word diet, because the word diet per se can just mean like what you're eating. So I want to talk about the dieting mindset today because that's what I refer to when I'm talking about the dieting, right? It's the dieting mindset that's the issue. Yeah. So anyway, say hi if you're hopping on, if you're watching the replay, and just welcome. Thank you for joining me today. And I hope you had a lovely weekend. And yeah, dieting mindset. Let's talk about the dieting mindset. So a lot of people can go on diets and lose weight, right? But then what happens? A lot of the time people gain it back. So when we're talking about studies on nutrition, people tend to just focus on the nutrition part of weight loss, right? And a lot of, and I don't want to like upset anyone, a lot of like personal trainers or health coaches very much just focused on the health science part, right? So looking at studies on nutrition, and that's great. Studies on nutrition are great, but what about the other part, which is the studies on psychology? And so behavioral parts of dieting. So a lot of studies done on dieting and weight loss show that in the long term, majority of people who go on a diet or lose weight gain it back. And that's the sad truth. And so a lot of people kind of blame themselves, which is really, really terrible, because a lot of the time we're just really misinformed in terms of what to do. And also we're wanting something outside of ourselves. So we're wanting somebody else to tell us what to do with something that is part of listening to ourselves. So hunger and fullness is something that requires a connection with yourself. And I'm going to get into that because I'm getting way ahead. But basically dieting, the dieting mindset, right? The dieting mindset. And when I see somebody with a dieting mindset, I know they're going to struggle with weight loss. Because the dieting mindset is pretty much a disconnect from self. It's pretty much saying, I don't know what to do. Tell me how to lose weight. I will follow whatever you tell me to do, right? And that can be in the sense of not necessarily like having somebody that you've hired or whatever, but it could be, I'm going to read all the books. I'm going to Google until like, I've like Googled everything and I'm going to just follow whatever everyone else tells me to do. Or I'm going to turn my whole life upside down to lose weight, right? And so essentially what you're doing there is completely switching off from your body. You're eating from up here, right? Not here, because you're rejecting this. You're saying, I don't trust this. I'm going to have to use this and get somebody else to tell me what to eat. That's kind of how that's like my description of the dieting mindset, because I dealt with so much of that for over 10 years, like my own dieting, right? My own dieting issues. And guess what? Dieting for me is a trigger to gain weight because it ties in with emotional eating. And that's what I mean by looking at the behavioral studies when it comes to losing weight, as opposed to just nutritional studies, because people are very much just focused on the nutrition and not looking at the behavioral part of it, not looking at the fact that human psychology is such a big science and it's so important. And the fact that so many people go on diets and they lose weight and then they gain it back. So basically, why does this sabotage? Why does this sabotage us? Why does this sabotage and cause emotional eating or weight gain or whatever? Because you're basically telling yourself that you've got to cut down on food. So for me, the moment I tell myself I got to cut back on something like food, it sends me into a panic. I can feel the anxiety, and that's because I'm very self-aware now. But a lot of people, they're not in that awareness state. And so they are just they're just reacting. They're just reacting to the environment. And so they don't realize the connection between their thoughts and the behaviors that they're eliciting. So the increased cravings, the binge eating that happens after you've lost weight, right? And so when I've become so self-aware over the last, 13 years of having these issues with weight and dieting. And so I've realized that the moment that I tell myself that I have to eat less or that I have to change the way that I'm doing something, I panic. And Marianne's just like, totally agree with me. Yes. And you look at me now, right, and you think, oh, she's skinny, whatever. She's like, but I can re-enter that state at any time. It's much more difficult now because I've trained myself and my relationship with food in such a way where I've really let go of that dieting mindset. But I tell you now, it can happen within weeks that if I try and get over-consumed by the way I'm eating or changing everything at once, then I go into total panic and I'm going to start turning towards food again. I'm going to start binge eating and I'm going to start emotionally eating again. And so I want you to know that I'm no different, and it's not that like I'm some special person with like magical willpower. No, I've trained my brain, right? And I've realized that the dieting mindset is the issue. And so you can lose weight because a lot of the times, like I know with No Diet Day and it's all about acceptance and things like that. And I totally agree. I totally agree because self-acceptance and acceptance of your body weight is part of it. That's what I talk about a lot. But I also don't want to make people feel bad for wanting to lose weight because I think there's so many body positive people out there. It's like you're either in one category or the other, and it feels a bit weird. It's like, can you actually accept yourself and want to lose weight? Yes, you can. And so I don't want to a lot of the time, if you want to lose weight, then it's like these body acceptance, body positive kind of, it's like, where do I fit in? Can I be into fitness? Can I be into the fitness world? Can I talk about macros, or is that bad? So I want to say that it's okay. It's okay to be accepting of yourself and want to lose weight. That's okay too. But the problem is that the dieting mindset is what's going to sabotage you. So the dieting mindset is essentially when you're trying to switch this part off and I'm ignoring this because I've got to follow something outside of myself. I don't trust myself. Whereas weight loss is actually about reconnecting to your body, because a lot of the time dieting and emotional eating is eating up here, and it's disconnection. And the biggest issue is a disconnection from your body. And I know that you might think, I can't trust my body, my body is crazy, because I used to binge eat. So the thought of trusting my body was insane, because I'd just be like, well, I'd become the size of a house. But it's not true, right? Because your body has so many signals that tell you when to stop eating, right? There's so many signals. And I literally used to sit in nutrition class and be like, well, these signals don't work for me. Where are those signals that tell me to stop eating? Because they ain't happening, right? And it's because I was so disconnected because of the dieting mindset. I was really, really disconnected, and I had no freaking idea what hunger even felt like. It was a false hunger. It was just due to habit and routine, and it's when do I get to eat again? Oh, it's 9 a.m. I have to wait like a few more hours. Oh, now it's 10. Now I can have a snack. You know, that's the kind of mindset that I used to have, counting down the hours. When can I eat again? You know, because it was no connect. Whereas now it's like, well, what do I feel like? When am I going to feel hungry? What do I feel like eating? The other parts of the dieting mindset that I haven't covered yet is the black and white thinking. So this is like really, I used to do this really bad. It's like that all or nothing thinking where you go, oh my gosh, I ate pizza tonight. I may as well eat the whole thing, or I may as well have a complete cheat day where I eat all the food, right? That's the kind of thinking that sabotages weight loss, right? Because it's not, people just think that they start a diet, they lose the weight, and then that's it, right? And it's not like that. It's a constant, it's not like you're constantly on a diet. I don't want to say that. It's more like you're constantly just being intuitive. So in order to maintain weight loss, you're going to have to be very intuitive and very much listening to when your body's saying, hey, stop eating now, you know, because if you dishonor that and you ignore that, that's when people just eat massive amounts of food, right? Without really, just without being able to control themselves, basically. And so like with, now I lost my train of thought. So with like that all or nothing thinking, right? With that all or nothing thinking, it's like kind of, there's these sayings out there. It's like popping a tire and then punching all your other tires on your car. Like, because it's like, well, I popped one tire, may as well pop them all. It's kind of like that. It's like this, you just give up on everything. Or say, for example, you've been losing weight and then you like gain a tiny bit back, which is completely normal when you're losing weight. Your weight's going to fluctuate. Your water weight is going to go crazy. You're going to be going up and down and all over the place before. It's not like a linear thing. Weight loss isn't a linear thing. It's all over the shop, right? So people kind of have this all or nothing thinking like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. I've lost a bit of weight. And it's like they just really take it on themselves, right? And so the thing is, oh, my camera's gone funny again. Yeah, so the thing is, like with the dieting mindset, just technical difficulties again. So with the dieting mindset, right, this all or nothing thinking, right, and this thinking that, the other thing with all or nothing thinking is that like you're following a plan, and then if you stray, it suddenly means that it's not going to work. That's the other mindset of dieting, is that when like it's not a big deal if you have like some pizza, if you have some chocolate, it's actually not a big deal. It's not going to sabotage you. What sabotages you is that all or nothing thinking, like I've screwed it up. Now I may as well have all of this food. And that's that dieting mindset. The other part of the dieting mindset that sabotages is the guilt, right? It's that guilt whereby you feel incredibly bad. You feel so bad for eating, right? And the problem is that guilt, I mean, let's just talk from a I guess more of a manifesting perspective. Guilt is a very low vibe emotion, and it's going to manifest more low vibe emotions, right? And that's where you can get started to dig yourself a bit of a ditch, right? Because it's a very low vibe emotion. And it's not to say we're never going to feel guilty, because like I've said before, like you don't want to judge yourself or feel bad for having emotions, but to be aware of it, because you can shift emotions, and you shift emotions through your thoughts, right? So you're thinking guilty because you're thinking the worst. Extreme emotions come from catastrophe predictions. What are catastrophe predictions? Thinking the worst. So ultimately you'll eat the pizza, like you eat the whole pizza or whatever. You've had like whatever's happened, and you'll start panicking. Now I'm going to gain 10 pounds overnight. Now all my work is undone, blah, blah, blah. This catastrophe thinking is what leads to the guilt. And guess what? When you feel bad, you turn to food, right? That's the thing. That's what happens. You feel guilty, and it becomes this vicious cycle where you go around and around this merry-go-round, right? And then you eat more to feel better, then you feel guilty, and it's this merry-go-round. You keep on going around and around on this merry-go-round. And so that's how the dieting mindset sabotages you. It's this perfectionism that you have to eat. Like, for example, the keto stuff that's going on right now, like, it's great when it works, like, for you. I'm not going, like, because I just get very biased with stuff like keto diets and carbohydrates and stuff like that, because I've already found what's working for me, and I don't want to dismiss anyone who it's working for, right? So if it's working for you, great. But I've met so many people, so many women who blame themselves when it's not working for them. Instead of saying, this doesn't work for me, I'm going to try something else. They feel bad about themselves because they lack willpower. When it's got nothing to do with their willpower, they're just trying a system that's completely too extreme for them. And yeah, it's just like, tune into yourself, like trust yourself in the sense that anything is an experiment. You've got to see whether or not it's working for you, not the other way around, not trying to make your whole life turn upside down to fit in with a diet. Yeah. And so the other thing with the dieting mindset is that it's completely disregarding like emotions and how people feel about food, right? And how food is like connecting people. You know, whenever we catch up with a friend, it's over dinner, or, you know, family gets together for Christmas and Easter and all that, like food connects us. And so the dieting mindset can very much make people socially isolated. And that's the issue as well with dieting mindset, is to let go of this need to fit into this little box of perfection with eating. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much it with dieting mindset for today. I have to get going. I'm catching up with a friend. So let me know what you think. Let me know if this helped you. I'd love to know. Let me know if you're struggling with the dieting mindset. I'd love to know. So drop a comment below if you're watching the replay. Let me know if you've struggled with the dieting mindset, right? And if you notice the connection, there's a huge connection between the way you eat and the way you think about food. Your relationship with food will determine your results. I'm just going to put it out there. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely, lovely week, and I will see you soon. Bye.